Welcome to Cannon Hall Farm in South Yorkshire, where once again we have a jam-packed show full of some fantastic farming stories from here in Barnsley, but also from across the rest of the UK.
So the weather's thrown me. Summer is still flirting with us. It's one of those random autumnal days that's glorious.
But of course, that is the joy of Mother Nature. You never quite know what she's going to throw your way. Well, later on, we'll be finding out what we can all do to help Mother Nature out with the help of some friendly farmers.
We'll be heading to the Devon farm that's helping bring gorgeous creatures such as boar and beaver back to our countryside.
They are just fantastic for this farm and really should be out across the whole British countryside doing this thing because these guys do it unbelievably.
And Farmer Rob takes on Reuben Owen in the battle of the tractors. But who will win this titanic contest, petrol or electric?
Oh no, he's slowed down. He's dropped back. Emma, see you later.
Looks like Rob's got a bit of engine trouble there.
I know who my money's on. That's all to come on This Week on the Farm. I'm delighted to say that we are joined by Rob, Dave and Mr Nicholson Senior. Hello, Roger. And perhaps more importantly, is this one Cheryl Fole?
It is.
Who's had a little chunk out of Andy's leg. Sorry about that, Andy. If one of our cameras is a bit shaky, not his fault.
Now, look, we are enjoying this fabulous weather, no two ways about it, but it is, I think, true to say, Roger, the weather these days is so unpredictable, isn't it? You never quite know what's around the corner. Have you noticed that over your time here?
Yes, I certainly have. If you think about the length of a human lifetime, you shouldn't really notice anything like that. And it's been quite dramatic since we opened the farm. The winters have got noticeably warmer, less frost and things like that. It's not reliable now.
And I think that's the key word, reliable. You don't know what's going to happen because summers, one year's good, one year's wet. You never know what you're going to get, do you?
With some rhododendrons, Helen, that used to flower at Spring Bank Holiday, and now it's May Day. That shouldn't happen in our lifetime. In 50 years, that's changed, and it's not right.
Thank you for joining us, and we'll be back with you a little bit later on when we will be knee-deep in Mother Earth as we do have a spot of tree planting. First, though, tonight, let's turn our attention to the coast. Cheryl, calm yourself.
Now then, Yorkshire vet Peter Wright lives, well, about an hour or so from the North Yorkshire coast, and we thought maybe he deserved a bit of sea air, so why not send him to the beach, provided he would do his bit to help keep it clean.
When we throw our rubbish away, it's out of sight and out of mind. But unfortunately, that's not the end of its journey. I'm meeting Todd German at the Sea Life Centre in Scarborough. You might wonder what seals have got to do with litter. I warn you, you won't like what I'm going to tell you. Well, Todd, these are animals that I don't get up close and personal to very often.
No, I can imagine. These are our 4 resident common seals that we have here. So it's their breakfast time. As you can see, especially Boo here, he's getting a bit eager for his breakfast. So I don't know if you'd like to offer them a few fish.
Come on, children. Come on. No, don't be greedy.
There we go.
Fantastic creatures, aren't they?
They are.
I can see why people fall in love with them as well, when you look at those faces.
It's all gone. All gone.
Feeding time is over, and whilst these creatures look the picture of health, not all the seals that come here are so lucky. Many have been injured by the stuff that we throw away. So what are we talking about mainly? Plastic?
Plastics, unfortunately. Always plastics, ones which don't degrade. These have either made their way down downstream from inland, or they've been left here by holidaymakers on the beach.
So you say from inland, Todd, I presume then these are coming down in the streams and the rivers, aren't they?
They are.
Into the ocean?
Yeah, and even being blown in, you know, some of them just kind of making their way very gradually, unfortunately. Seals are very curious animals, so what we tend to see with the seals is that they'll be curious about kind of things like frisbees, and they'll put them over the head, and once they go over the head, they can't get them off, and it will get to the point where it can cut into their skin.
The catalogue of injuries caused by our litter is just appalling. I've got to say, as a veterinary surgeon, I do find this very hard to stomach, really, and you must be exactly the same.
Completely.
It's heartbreaking.
It really is, especially knowing that we're the cause of that problem.
There were more than 300 items of plastic every 100 metres on UK beaches last year, and once it's there, it tends to stick around. Bex Lynham from the Yorkshire Wildlife Trust knows better than most just how long-lasting this rubbish can be.
These are all items that we've collected from beaches over the last couple of years.
Yeah.
So this one, for example, you can see was like an ice pop. And on the front it says 1D, which means...
One old penny.
It's
So that's
pre-decimalisation,
Whoa.
so it's older than 1971.
And it looks pristine.
A couple of other things here that people will probably recognise as well. So a Mr. Freeze,
Yes.
that's 1989. This one's 99. A chocolate bar I think we've got there. And I'm not sure on the date on that one, but I think it would be fair to say that it's old. The problem with a lot of these items is that they break down into smaller and smaller pieces. So it's not just the big wildlife that can ingest it. As it becomes what we call microplastics, the smaller animals can consume that plastic. And that's how it's finding its way into the food chain.
But help is at hand. Bex and these volunteers are out regularly cleaning rubbish off Yorkshire beaches. And it's been another big haul today. You've all been very busy this morning, and I'd just like to have a look at a sample of what you've got in your bags. I mean, I can see there's lots of cigarette ends there and fish and chip cartons. But these will break down into little bits. It's polystyrene, won't it? And create major problems. Well, you've got some interesting stuff in here as well, haven't you?
Yeah, I have. Yeah, I've got I've got cans, I've got rope, I've got a plastic lid.
What can we do about the environment and looking after it?
So, yeah, I think everybody was encouraged to pick up, you know, 5 pieces of litter when they come to the beach.
I think it's all about reduction and limiting the amount of plastic that's produced in the first place and therefore is able to get into the natural environment.
It's encouraging to see these volunteers at work, but we all need to do our bit. We've seen today how so much damage can be done, how animals can be killed from the things that we discard. Please look after it, please look after them, and please help the environment.
Thank you, Peter, and a massive thank you to each and every one of those volunteers who gave up their free time. If you want to get involved at any point in the year, all the details and everything that you need to know are on our Facebook page. The details are on screen now. Still to come, tonight we will be heading with JB Gill to a farm that uses vertical farming. What's vertical farming, you ask? Well, stay where you are and you'll find out.
Wow, I mean, this does look very futuristic. It's a bit like a JLS concert.
And can this old relic, that's the tractor, not Rob, cut the mustard against this brand new state-of-the-art newbie? Stick with us to find out. Welcome back to This Week on the Farm.
Now, as we've already seen this series, farm machinery is changing beyond all recognition. It's getting bigger, faster and full of technology.
But the next big hurdle is to make it fit for the future. And this year has seen the introduction of the first all-electric tractor.
But how does a battery-powered machine compare to a tractor of the past? Rob and Ruben Owen are about to go head-to-head to find out. All right.
Welcome, one and all, to a showdown like no other. A battle royal that pits old versus new, now versus then, technology versus tradition. In the blue corner for Team Electric is Ruben the Rocket Owen, driving the Farm Track FT25G Compact Electric. In the red, Team Petrol, represented by rough and tumble Rob Nicholson on Bessie, his beloved vintage David Brown tractor. And carrying a big flag is Dave, the adjudicator. There'll be 3 challenges to see which tractor comes out on top.
I think Bessie's got a fighting chance. She was put together years ago by proper engineers. I know she's good, I know she's powerful, I know she's running well. I think she's got a chance.
I'm hoping the electric tractor is quicker than the old one, because I would really like to beat Rob.
So the gauntlet is thrown down. Over to Dave to get the first race underway.
Farmers ready? Go!
The first race is all about speed. So it's full throttle across a field to rescue 2 escaped sheep, then belt on back to the finish. First across the line is the winner. And Team Electric have an early advantage.
I'm gapping him. I'm gapping him. Absolutely gapping him here. No, he's coming in for it. He's coming in.
He's cutting him off.
It's an aggressive move from Team Petrol. Nicholson looks to have the edge.
He's done me. He's done me. I'm done. Oh no, he's slowed down. He's dropped back. Emma, see you later.
Looks like Rob's got a bit of engine trouble there.
Bessie, what's gone wrong? Oh, Bessie, what's gone wrong? Oh, no.
It's a calamity. Owen's blazing towards the finish line and Team Electric take the first event, 1-0.
Well done, Reuben.
The question is, can Nicholson continue?
What happened? Throttle's gone, not the bottle, the throttle. Some days I get out of bed and I don't work just as well as others. I'm not blaming Bessie, it's just one of them things.
A quick repair and it's game back on. Next event, the 50-metre tractor pull. Fastest time is the winner.
3, 2, 1.
Here we go.
Go!
We're going. It's dragging it. It's going. I can't believe how well it's going so far.
What it lacks in size, the little Electric makes up for in power. The 18.5 kilowatt engine is giving it everything.
Faster. We're going for it.
36 seconds is the time to beat. Nicholson will be counting on all the 30 horsepower Bessie can muster.
Are you ready? 3, 2, 1. Come on, Bessie. Come on, girl. Come on, girl.
Team Petrol is flying. We've got a contest.
Go on, Bessie. Go on. Go on, Bessie. Come on. It's quick.
Sheer passion from Nicholson, and he crosses the finish in a staggering 32 seconds. It's a resounding victory.
Well done, Reuben.
Well done.
All to play for.
I'm pretty pleased. I know it didn't beat Rob's tractor, but it put in a hell of a good effort.
Reuben got it absolutely dancing and singing there, but I knew Bessie could do it, and I came on strong at the end, and we got the victory. It's 1-1, and I'm going to go for it now.
Sheer passion from Nicholson, but who'll come out on top? Find out later as Team Petrol and Team Electric go head-to-head in the decider. Oh, I cannot wait to see how that turns out later on in the programme. Fighting talk from Rob, let's face it.
I think he borrowed his granddaughter Nellie's helmet, you know, with the daisies on.
Flowers on it.
We'll be back with them a bit later on. Now, when it comes to buying food for a modern family, there has never been so many choices to tempt your taste buds.
And interestingly, the rise of plant-based products has increased dramatically, with many manufacturers who are used to producing meat also getting in on the act. So we thought, why not send JB Gill to find out more?
Here in Bedale, North Yorkshire, is the home of Hex Sausages. Over the last decade, as more and more of us turn to meat-free diets, they've changed their business to cater to our new tastes.
Hi, Andrew.
Hi, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Good.
But for boss Andrew Keeble, producing vegetarian and vegan sausages means importing tons of leafy ingredients from abroad, which is costly and not so green.
We're really looking at the future of food and where the whole industry is going. So we use huge amounts of basil, for example, in our ingredients. So we're looking at the ways we can reduce food miles and really get those ingredients fresh straight into our produce.
To help save the planet, the company have had a brainwave.
Let's have a glimpse of the future.
Wow, this does look very futuristic. It's a bit like a JLS concert.
Installed this year, this is like no farm I have ever seen before.
got the early germination up here, and we've got some more mature stuff, which is actually quite close to harvest on your right-hand side.
The state-of-the-art aeroponic technology creates the perfect environment to grow different types of herb, required for their different flavours of sausage.
Currently, we're importing 2 tons a week from Spain, so that's lots of lorries coming to bring that food in. So it cuts out the food miles completely to zero.
And what impact does it have on the quality of what you're producing?
In here, there is 0 pesticides, so there's no false fertilisers, and of course, basil bruises very easily, so this goes straight into production. It gives you a much better quality product.
The light and temperature can be carefully monitored, allowing them to control every aspect of how the plants grow.
The LED lights are really, really key, so it's 23 degrees in here. And what these do, it puts the appliance of science to replicate sun, but in a really efficient way. How much LED light we give these plants actually alters the flavour too, so we're just really experimenting with that at the moment.
It sounds like a great method of farming. Fascinating.
Once the basil is harvested, it's sent across to their factory.
Yeah, yep.
And today's batch is being used to make some rather unique sausages.
This is our vegan site. The whole factory here is dedicated to vegan.
And what's the demand for vegan sausages like at the moment?
It's really growing fast, actually. It's growing faster than we thought it was. So it used to be 5% of our business, and this year it'll be 20%.
Wow, so there's a huge increase then, isn't there?
There's a big increase.
And it's clear to see their experimental approach extends to their recipes too.
What's in there at the moment?
So in here, we've pre-mixed some gluten-free crumb, a little bit of onions, some carrots, a bit of parsley, our secret seasoning, and of course, all we need now is our fresh basil.
OK, can I do the honours?
Absolutely.
Yeah? Just chuck it in, yeah?
Go for it.
Once ready, the mix is filled into a seaweed casing.
I mean, it's going pretty quick.
It's just on 240 sausages a minute, but it will make up to 2,000 sausages a minute.
2,000 sausages a minute?
Yeah, be with sausages everywhere.
Thanks to cutting-edge science, by the time the sausages reach the last leg of their journey, thousands of food miles have been saved.
So this is the finished article, is it?
That's the one, all ready to go.
Well, thank you so much, Andy, for having me.
Thank you for coming.
If I can, I'm going to send these back to the farm.
Lovely, thank you.
That's if they make it that far.
Thank you very much, JB. We got your gift. We are in the kitchen. Well, it's technically the courtyard allotment that Tim has turned into a kitchen. Hello, Tim. Always good to see you.
How are we doing? All right?
We're OK. And you've got JB's sausages sizzling away there by the looks of it.
Yeah, these plant-based sausages, so we've got these in the frying pan, but I've also got you a few more to sample as well.
Now, I'm pretty flexible with my diet. I have plant-based days, I have meat days, but you are a dedicated meat eater.
I absolutely am. I've never really entered the plant-based world. It was fascinating watching JB there.
Well, would you be able to tell the difference between a plant-based product than a meat product?
Yes. See, I put my neck out there.
The fact that you have got so many different options, Tim, says something about people's changing tastes, doesn't it?
It does. I certainly think that this is of a moment, Helen. Everybody's looking at a healthy lifestyle, they're looking at what they're eating, they're looking at how they're exercising, and I think this is just one part of that. There's a whole selection now of plant-based products, being sausages, burgers, anything really. And then you've got the meat products as well, so I think the choice is just a wonderful thing.
I mean, I did say earlier that I was pretty certain I would tell the difference between meat and plant-based. Seeing these now, I'm not so sure, actually. They are pretty convincing, aren't they?
What are we doing then, Tim? Are we diving straight in?
I think let's start with the sausage first.
Right.
OK, we'll start here. To me, that looks like meat.
I don't think that... I'm trying to read your face. I don't think it is meat. Should we have a go? Right then.
I think that tastes like meat.
So what are we going for? Meat or plant-based?
Meat.
Plant-based.
Plant-based.
Yes, you see.
So this particular plant-based sausage has a lot of soy protein in it, and that's what's giving it that sort of meaty sort of a texture.
Because it does have a meaty texture, but it's well seasoned. There's a lot of spice in there. There's quite a kick to that, actually, isn't there?
Yeah, it's quite peppery, isn't it? And it does taste like a traditional sausage as well.
Let's have a look at these burgers, because you've got some that look like burgers and you've diced a few as well. What do we think, then? Should we try here? I'm thinking that probably that one, the first one, is the meat one. That's my hunch.
The first one looks like meat. Tastes like meat.
Tastes like meat.
So meat or plant-based?
Meat.
That's the meat one.
There you go. Ah, right then, have a go at that one, Helen.
The texture of this next one is not filling me with confidence.
Really? Why?
It looks a bit bumpy.
You think there's too much in it? You think, is that the giveaway that it might be plant-based, do you think?
I have never known a culinary term in food known as bumpy. That is a first for me, is that?
The texture's interesting, isn't it? I'll be honest, it's a bit plain. I'm thinking that's plant-based.
I'm thinking that's plant-based.
Spot on, plant-based.
So what is in these burgers? You've said that in the sausages there's a lot of soya.
Yeah, so there's a lot of... So there's the soy, there's also a pea protein as well. It's where they dry the peas and they ground them up and make them into a flour. That's the sort of thickening agent and the protein that you get in there.
There is a pea protein, but what other vegetables and plants are in these non-meat versions?
So a lot of them go with a mushroom, because a mushroom is quite a meaty sort of a vegetable in there. So a lot are heavily contained with mushrooms.
You've got 2 pots of bacon here. Bacon I absolutely adore. It's one of my morning treats when I get the chance to have it. Of these 2 examples, can I pick them out?
Certainly.
So this one absolutely looks like bacon. I'm not going to smell it to give it away, but this one, come on. My son's Year 2 class look like they've just made that out of plasticine. Surely that cannot be the real thing.
Putting them side by side, though, Jules, they do look a little bit... little bit similar.
This one looks a little bit like my dog's chew. I mean, I'm straight in, I'm eating for 2, aren't I? So.
I mean, yeah, that's a bit cardboardy, if I'm honest.
Don't forget, you're coming at this as a meat lover, preferring the meat options. But if you want to mix it up and add variety to your dining table, then the fact of the matter is you've got a lot of good options these days, haven't you?
The choice, Helen, is phenomenal.
Always good to see you, Tim. Thank you for pulling all this together for us. And we'll see you a bit later on when you visit a hemp farm. How was that?
Oh, wow, it was unbelievable. It absolutely blew me away.
I bet it did.
And we're going to have a load of dung beetles on the farm. That's when we return in a few minutes' time. Welcome back. We are joined once again by Dave, Roger and Rob. I always feel like I need to curtsy to Roger. It's your kingdom, really, Roger.
Not at all.
This is a part of the farm that we don't often see, but you've got big plans for it.
Extremely big plans. I want to plant sunflowers in here next year. I want to undersow them with a wildflower meadow. The wildflowers will give nectar and pollen for the bees for years to come. It's really exciting.
Now, the term rewilding, I suppose, is the big buzzword, isn't it, in farming? Certainly for the last generation, really. Is that what you're trying to do here? Is this a rewilding project?
Well, we're not letting a wolf go, Jules, just a wildflower meadow.
But you've got to have the space to do it, haven't you?
Yes, you certainly have to have the space. And ours is going to be a modest thing to do, but we're very keen on the idea of putting nature back in charge a little bit.
Paint a picture, then. In a few years' time, what do you think this meadow might look like?
I think it's going to be like a Picasso painting. I think there's going to be colour everywhere. I'd love to see some fruit trees, a little orchard going on as well. I've just got really high hopes for it. I think it's going to be a wonderful place.
Roger, you're poised to put the first fruit tree in. It feels right that you do the honours.
Yeah, well...
I've dug the hole. I'd like it known.
It makes it look as if I've dug this out, but I haven't.
Can you say a few words?
Well, yes, here's to many more to come, I think. That's the thing. This is the first one we're going to do, and this area will be absolutely lovely in years to come.
Well, it's lovely to be here at the beginning and seeing that tree going in the ground, as you say, Roger, hopefully the first of many more. Now then, while Roger continues to fill in that hole, we are going to take a little trip down to West Devon, to a farm that really is at the forefront of the rewilding revolution.
Coombs Head used to be home to beef, sheep and cattle. Nowadays, it plays host to some of Britain's most endangered species.
Set in the heart of Devon, this appears to be a farm just like any other. But here, you can go on a rather unusual safari.
Oh, they're lovely.
In search of wild animals that roamed free for millennia until the modern age killed them off.
So I've actually just spotted the female boar who's got a litter of piglets. Real buzz seeing them like that. Not everywhere that's literally the closest thing you're going to get to an African game reserve on the edge of Dartmoor.
With issues like climate change and intensive farming putting Britain's wildlife under threat, ecologist Peter Cooper is part of a team here at Coombs Head Farm that have turned half of the land into rewilding habitats for species at risk.
We're just letting nature take the course. We're putting in large animals at low densities to do a bit of natural grazing and see what happens, and really give nature a bit more of a driving seat. We've put in the wild boar, put in water buffalo, Exmoor ponies, and basically they're the gardeners of nature.
But having already returned the land here to a more wild state, they're probably not the type of gardeners you'd want at home.
So this wallow's basically been excavated by the water buffalo and the boar, and what is basically just a little bar for them is actually a multitude of habitat, a little city for a variety of insects, which I think is just the most amazing thing about nature and what these animals can do.
As twilight falls across the farm, another rare species are soon to start work.
We're off now to see the beavers. Now, these really are one of the most important animals here.
After being wiped out by hunters, beavers hadn't been seen in Britain for around 400 years. Now, as they're gradually reintroduced, their skills are helping to naturally engineer the environment against flooding.
What they do is they build dams on the streams that are flowing downhill, which during periods of heavy rainfall actually create big flash floods. Whereas what the beavers do is they hold back that water that normally rushes straight down, floods the village downstream, ends up going down much more smoothly and doesn't actually break its banks.
But catching sight of this industrious workforce isn't easy.
So I thought for a minute I might have seen one, but actually that's the fish jumping. So we sometimes see beavers on this pond. So it's just worth a look, actually.
After spotting some telltale signs like gnawed trees, Peter's instincts proved to be right.
So I have a beaver, I think that's the male. There he goes. So in fact he went under quietly, it's a nice sign. But no, he's nice and calm. It's good to see.
For a species once viewed as doing more harm than good, Peter's team have no regrets about allowing them to make this quiet corner of Devon their home.
They are just fantastic for this farm and really should be out across the whole British countryside doing this thing because we need everything that can restore nature in any degree possible. And these guys do it unbelievably. It's fantastic.
Well, we heard there Peter talking about the importance of many of our native wildlife species, and we're going to talk about them a little bit more because we're joined by Sally Ann Spence, farmer and entomologist.
Entomologist, yes.
Entomologist, and
yes.
I'm so glad this is not a cooking item because I've just got a glimpse of what's in that tray.
What's an entomologist?
So I'm an insect scientist, somebody who just studies insects.
We all thought it, we just didn't want to ask.
Yeah, we weren't quite sure, were we?
Listen, we've got to talk about dung beetles because they really are the star of the rewilding show, aren't they? How important are they?
They are really important. They're the unsung heroes in the dung, basically. They are doing loads and loads of ecosystem functions that are really, really important. So there's two groups that we have in the UK. We have ones that live in it and ones that live under it.
Right.
Because they haven't got a lot of competition for their dung.
OK, so these in here are living in it, presumably?
They're living in it, and I've brought some of the tunnelers to show you as well, really strong beetles that dig the ground. And that's really important because they're bringing the subsoil to the topsoil. They're mixing the bacteria and the fungi. They're putting all that organic matter down there for the plant roots.
So this is great if you get into a no-dig regime, presumably.
Oh, yeah, really important. And these big beetles, I'm going to get some big beetles out and show you in a minute. And they are big. And what they're doing is they're doing these really long tunnels that can go down to about a metre depth. And that will stop your compaction, that'll let all your water go in from your rainfall. It'll just great. Loads and loads of ecosystem services.
Well, Dave, a lot of animals on your farm, a lot of dung.
Yeah.
How important are dung beetles to what you do?
Well, I'm sort of learning on the job here. I didn't really know about them, if I'm being totally honest, but it sounds enthralling, and yeah, we'd love to have some, thank you.
And you've got some here. Can we have a look?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you've got two groups that live under the dung, the Onthophagus and the Geotrupids. So the Onthophagus aren't that big, but the Geotrupids really are big beetles. So I'm going to pass you over to have a look.
Pass it that way.
That is, it's like a stag beetle, isn't it?
It's a huge beetle.
Will it bite me?
No, no, it won't bite you, won't do anything.
That feels a bit weird. We've got one making a getaway. Look at that. I mean, wow, a prehistoric creature, if ever you saw one.
So if you see, look at the antenna, it's got clubbed antenna. So the antenna are all scrunched up like that at the end, and then they open them out like leaves.
Oh, there we go. Is it about to take off? There we go. Well, welcome to Cannon Hall Farm.
Step back, Kate.
Look, the other one's trying to make a
Yeah,
break
do we
for
have a look
freedom.
at another one? What I want someone to do is, if someone can just put it in your hand and just hold your hand gently round it,
Go on,
you'll
Helen.
feel how strong they are.
There you go.
Because they've got to dig through all that soil.
It felt quite emotional as it
All the
flew off.
things I've handed to you over the years, there's never a dung beetle.
Rob and Dave, I literally just saw the 7-year-old boy in you two then. Oh, yeah, I know what you mean. Oh, yeah, he's quite tickly, isn't he?
Yeah, quite tickly.
Oh.
Can you feel it?
You're not sure about that, are you?
You sure it can't bite?
No, can't bite. It'll just literally just push your fingers apart. It's so strong. Can you feel how strong it is?
It literally is pushing my fingers off my hand. Yes, and now he's pushing the palm of my hand off my hand.
That's incredible.
He's coming out that
There we
way.
are.
Yeah.
Well done. And we saw that beetle fly off earlier. Where will it go? What will it look for?
So that beetle will be able to smell where the dung is. It's got an incredible sense of smell, and it will sort of fly around until it can smell some dung, land beside it, and then it will start to tunnel down and pull the dung down.
It's literally trying to burrow underneath my fingers.
Really strong.
I'm not entirely sure it's the most pleasant experience I've ever had.
That is just fascinating. I mean, this has been absolutely fascinating.
I feel a bit harsh on Tim, going from Dung Beetles to Tim, but you know we love a member of the Cannon Hall Farm here on the show. You saw Tim earlier, we're going to be back with him now. He's definitely been bitten by the TV bug. Fair to say, I think he's about to hit a career high.
Oh, I like what you did there, because if I was going to tell you he was heading off to meet a man who grows cannabis for a living, you might be slightly surprised. But don't worry, it is, well, perfectly legit. Honest gov.
On Ed Berman's family farm in a quiet corner of Warwickshire, the fields are full of crops with a questionable reputation. But this harvest is all about healthy living, and I'm keen to hear what hemp can do for me. So, is this cannabis then?
It is indeed. Hemp as an agricultural crop has been grown for thousands of years. The Egyptians have used it, the ancient Chinese used it. We want to normalise it as an agricultural crop and really sort of change the image behind that leaf and have it as a domestic image rather than a stigma, as it were.
Ed battled red tape in 2019 to become the first legal cannabis farmer in the UK. He's hoping that other farmers and the public will embrace the health benefits of this environmentally friendly crop.
Our main product is the seed. We crush that down for our cooking oil.
The question I'm going to ask to you then, Ed, is there a psychedelic high that I can get off that oil?
Not at all. Not at all. It would be no different to your olive oil or your rapeseed oil in terms of psychoactive ingredients in there. The only effect, as it were, is good nutrition, good gut health. Great for skin, hair, digestive system, and roughage as well.
I'm always keen to investigate the health benefits of the ingredients I use in my kitchen, something I've become even more aware of since my cancer diagnosis. I'm in awe of what you're trying to do and how you're getting there.
Thank you very much. Wait till we get the combine out.
This fast-growing crop makes for a bumper harvest, and Ed's farm has the future firmly in mind, with the focus on sustainability and reducing carbon emissions. The products that you can get from this far outweigh the stigma that this plant has. And me as a chef, I can't wait to get back into the kitchen and just see how this hemp oil measures up to other oils.
This is what we've got. This is our wet sample that's just come straight off the field. Very trashy. It will go up the grain elevator, into the wet pit. That will then feed our dryer. Once it's cycled and we've got down to our target moisture level, we will then be left with this.
Fabulous, fabulous. So Ed, I see the hopper. Can I try a bit?
Absolutely.
Literally hot off the press.
Hot
is that
off the
all?
press.
So
I'd go straight under the press.
What I've got there is a sort of real raw hazelnut sort of taste.
It's almost creamy as well.
Very much so. From here, the oil is refined and the sediment removed before bottling. This tastes fabulous as it is now, but let's taste the real deal.
Absolutely.
So, Ed, this is the final product.
This is it.
That is amazing.
It's packed with lots of health benefits as well. It's got a really high level of omegas in there. Not only that, but it's great for hair, skin, digestive system. It's not just about cooking, it's about healthy lifestyle.
Ed, thank you so much.
Take care.
Hemp oil. Just one more way to get fried.
Let's hope he makes some cakes. He's really good at those.
Still to come, it's a tale of two tractors as Rob and Reuben go head-to-head. That story reaches its climax.
Come on, Reuben, my money's on you, and we'll find out if the future of farming really is electric.
Don't you know who our hosts are? Come on, Rob. See you in a few minutes' time. Welcome back. Now, earlier in the show, we saw tractor enthusiast Reuben Owen take on Rob in a contest with a difference.
Absolutely. Rob's lovely old vintage tractor, Bessie, is up against a brand new electric version driven by Reuben.
But it's 1-1. This is the moment of truth. Who will be victorious? Let's find out.
Welcome back to this clash of the titans. Owen versus Nicholson. The past versus the future. Team Petrol versus Team Electric.
Come on, Bessie, come on, girl.
We're going for it. We're going for it.
It's level pegging after 2 events, and our gladiators have got this far on 1 tank of petrol and 1 charged battery. They'll need to squeeze every last drop to make it over the line in this, the decider, a true test of staying power.
Right, the final challenge. With the remaining juice left in your tractors, you will mow a field until you run out of fuel. Last man mowing is the winner.
It's down to the wire.
Good luck, Reuben.
Good luck.
And there are last-minute nerves.
I've looked in the tank. I can't see anything. I'm really quite worried. I think this could be my big problem.
I think he'll definitely run out of petrol before I run out of battery. So bring on this challenge. I think I've got this one in the bag, really.
Ready? Steady! Mow!
And they're off. Nicholson willing Bessie on.
Bessie!
Owen counting on there being enough charge left in his battery.
Reuben has got half a battery. He's going well, but it's going down fast. Anyone could win this one.
You can't put a paper between them. It's neck and neck. Team Electric setting the pace, but Team Petrol seems to be slowing.
Bessie! Bessie! Don't do it to me!
He's running on fumes. Surely it's all over. It is now. Owen punches the air.
And that's us. We have won it.
It's been a hard-fought contest.
I'm gapping him. I'm gapping him. Oh, Bessie. We're going for it. Come on, girl.
But it's the Electric that walks off with the honours. 2-1.
Well done, Reuben. Congratulations. So what do you think then, Reuben? Are you impressed?
I'm impressed. It's done better than I thought it was going to be. It's a good little tractor.
Reuben, you might as well finish the field while you're here.
I'm all right, thanks. I'm off home.
We might need a tour yet.
The Electric may have won the day, but there'll always be affection for these old workhorses from the past. Oh, look at this.
Handbrake, handbrake.
Yeah.
How on earth did you lose?
I can't imagine, Helen.
Commiserations, but you gave it a good shot, didn't you, to be fair?
I loved every second of it, Jules. I thought we were that close to winning. In fact, I think we were moral victors.
But joking aside, how useful is that? Because this is Britain's first commercially available, fully electric tractor. So, I mean, it's a moment in time, isn't it?
It really is. Electric is probably our future. Who knows, there might be something new round the corner. But, I mean, that little tractor, it's got some guts, it can pull. You know, it is a fine machine.
And I mean this with the most respect. And I say this to everybody whenever we talk of, no, I don't want to be ageist, but my kids are growing up used to things being electric, used to things having to be recharged. We're not. So to someone like the next generation of farmers, it's a foregone conclusion, isn't it?
That's very much the start, Helen, and they'll get bigger, they'll get better. I can see the day when you'll combine a field powered by the sun shining down from Mother Nature itself, so that's where I'm looking for.
Look at the vision, look at the vision.
Hey, I'm going to buy shares in that. I'm buying shares in your company, Rob.
But we have talked about the evolution of farming machinery, haven't we? Many, many times on this show. And it's lovely, as you say, Helen, to be here, kind of almost at the beginning, getting a first look at the start of what could be a massive revolution in the way that we farm in this country.
There's already hybrid tractors out there, big ones, so that the part way there, it's just that, well, they need a bigger battery, don't they? You know, if you're gonna, you know, farmers put the hours in and the tractor has to be able to do the same thing.
You look where we've come in 50 years, Helen. It's a matter of time before they get that right, before we're powering the whole of the nation with electricity, or even something greener than that. That's the future, and I'm excited by it.
I couldn't agree more, but for now, Bessie is going nowhere, and she has a place.
She's a place here, close to my heart. I think the world of her. I enjoyed driving her, and I think she did really well. I was proud of her.
Well, listen, she did you proud and she'll be here for a long time to come. Well done, Bessie. Thank you so much for your company. Thank you for having us, as always, guys. That's it for this week's show. If you can't wait until the next instalment of This Week on the Farm, you can always get in touch with us on social media. We love to hear what you think.
We absolutely do. And let us know what you're doing, wherever you are, to help keep Britain a greener and more pleasant land. But in the meantime, we will see you same time, same place next week, when, who knows, it probably won't be like this. It'll probably be blowing a gale, chucking it in the rain, or snowing. You never know what's around the corner.
So I'm going to make the most of that. It's got no cab.
See you later.
And This Week on the Farm is back next Wednesday at 8. With top tips and tricks for your outdoor space and enjoying harvesting at Glebe Cottage, Autumn Gardening with Carol Klein is brand new tomorrow at 7. Exploring the spectacular scenery and unique way of life in the world's newest country, brand new Iceland with Alexander Armstrong starts next.